Welcome back to Kind Regards the show. I have a little experiment for you, a test, a trial that you can apply when you're not feeling too good. You know, if you're feeling in a like you're in a bad mood and it just won't lift, and you're trying to do the things that help you feel better, and it's just not going away. You know, if you're angry, bored, hopeless, anxious, you're feeling despair, it doesn't really matter. If you're in a bad mood that will not lift, if you don't feel good, I have an experiment for you. And this grew out of the other day. I was feeling despondent. I was feeling, I mean, honestly, I was feeling like all the things that normally matter didn't matter. You know, all the things in my life that bring me joy weren't bringing me joy. I didn't really care for the future and the present and any of the things that I normally care for. You know, it's I've heard depression described in this way, and I don't want to overstate my mental state here because there's a big variety of you know, depression can take many forms, and I don't want to I guess like make anyone feel bad by saying, you know, oh, I was so depressed, you know. But you know, I think I've heard depression described as feeling no hope for the future, or feeling no joy in the future, no joy in oneself, and no joy in other people. You know, and this was generally how I felt. All I wanted to do was sleep. That's that's all I wanted to do, and so I tried to meditate, you know, for half an hour, and it didn't help at all. I got off the mat and went, oh, I feel exactly the same, which peeves me a little bit. You know, they say to expect nothing from meditation, and that, you know, every sit is different, and if you expect something from it, you're still in this pattern of desire and aversion. You know, I want this from meditation, so if you don't get it, you feel suffering, and that's exactly what happened to me. I wanted to come out of this meditation feeling all peaceful and, you know, zenned out, but I didn't. I felt, as far as I'm aware, exactly as I did before. And so what did I do? I went to attribute this feeling to a bunch of causes. You know, I tried to understand it and go, you know, this is the problem. Oh, I'm seeing my family later, and I have trouble, you know, feeling like I'm being honest with them. You know, because for a long time, you know, I felt not very understood by my family, and I felt like I couldn't show them my true self, that they wouldn't understand that and wouldn't care to understand it. They're lovely people, so if there are any of them watching, I love you very much, but that's just how I felt. I was in this kind of thought trap of feeling like I couldn't be authentic, and so I was going to see them later that day, and I thought, oh no, that's probably why. I'm probably feeling like, oh, I need to be really authentic, and if I get there and I'm authentic, then I'll feel better and I'll feel relieved. But oh, if I get there and I'm not authentic and I feel all this pressure, then I'll feel terrible, you know. But you know, here's the problem, here's the solution. If I do this, then I'll feel this. You know, if I don't, then I'll keep feeling this way. You know, and this is very common. You know, I'm angry, so you know, if only I get justice. You know, that person wronged me, so if only they suffer, then I'll feel like the cosmic scales have been balanced, and then I'll feel relieved. Or, you know, I'm anxious, so all I need to do is, you know, talk myself out of it and relax and realize that my fears are unfounded, and then I'll be relieved. You know, so I was in this mental state, and I called my buddy to ask for a bit of help, and we ran through these ideas, which are the crux of the experiment that I'd like to pitch to you. The ideas are, the first one is that there is no experience that is not self-liberating. This is something that I heard from James Lowe, who I was listening to earlier in the day. James Lowe is a Dzogchen teacher, which is a type of Tibetan meditation practice. And he's a great speaker, so I really recommend. I listen to him on the Waking Up app, but I think you can listen to him on YouTube and various sort of places. But James Lowe is his name. He's great, really insightful and really easy to listen to and accessible. he's not too heady. If you're not familiar with Buddhist ideas or Tibetan Buddhist Dzogchen ideas, I don't think you need to be intimidated. I think it's all really sort of easy to listen to stuff. But I was listening to him and he said there is no experience that is not self-liberating. No sensation that doesn't sort itself out, that doesn't arise and then pass away. This is the crux of the Buddhist teaching. Everything which arises also passes away. Feelings, thoughts, desires, sensations, raindrops on the window, the sun rises and falls and rises and falls again. We are born, we die. Everything is coming into the world and leaving it again. And there is no experience that is not self-liberating. What happens though what happened to me when I was in this, if I feel like this, it's because of this problem, and if I solve the problem in this way, then I'll feel good, and if I don't solve it in this way, this hemmed me in, this thought pattern of I will only feel good if this is satisfied. What it did is it held my happiness and my presence and my peace of mind hostage, right? It said with a finger gun to their head, unless you go through these motions, unless these conditions are satisfied, you cannot be peaceful. That was implicit in what I was believing about, attributing my mental state to all these causes. And what that does is it hems us in and it perpetuates this feeling, because how could the feeling go away? It doesn't make any sense for the feeling to go away unless I'd accomplished these conditions. So although it is true that there is no experience that is not self-liberating, if you want to make that untrue, the way to do it is to use the discerning mind and say, oh, I've got this problem, like I just explained, to hem yourself in with thought patterns that say experience will only be easeful if this thing happens, And so that's one of the sort of big ideas that helped shift things for me. And the second one was this idea that Sam Harris talks about again on the Waking Up app, which I can't recommend enough. And by the way, it's free on request. This is like a great thing about the Waking Up app is that it costs money to run, so they ask for money from their subscribers, and if you can afford to pay, you're encouraged to do so. But if you cannot pay for this thing, you can reach out to them and actually get it for free on request, which is really lovely. So if you don't feel locked out from accessing this sort of wisdom of this meditation and general self-helpy kind of spiritual app, which is really great stuff. Don't be turned off by spiritual either, please. It's really good. Even people who don't believe in God and stuff, I personally don't really believe in a conventional sort of idea of God, can find a lot of great wisdom and ease and peace of mind in this app. Anyways, Sam Harris says this thing in the app where he says, imagine the last time, remember the last time that you were feeling really at ease and really peaceful and like you were really enjoying life. Just imagine that last time, remember it. And then maybe remember the last time you were really angry and you felt your knuckles on the steering wheel and go, oh, how could they do that? Real injustice. Imagine that, remember that. And remember the last time you were anxious or in despair or really satisfied with a meal, or, you finally got the thing that you wanted and you felt great. Remember all those times? Well, where are they now? Where are those feelings now? They're gone. All the joy, all the anger, all the disappointment, all the anxiety, all the, oh, what if my, partner doesn't love me? What if my friends are all just pretending to like my company? What if this, what if that? Where is it all now? It's gone, dude. It's gone. And that is such a reality for me. When I go through that experiment and I go, oh yeah, it's all gone. They're all away. It pierces this illusion that we have, which I think has like a scientific or psychological sort of name behind it. It's like the continuity bias or continuity myth or something, where when we're feeling a certain way, we project that feeling into the future and into the past. We're feeling disappointed and we go, oh, I always get disappointed like this, and all the disappointment in our life rises to the top and we go, see, this always happens to me. Or we project it into the future and we say, oh, this is just going to keep happening. When am I going to feel better? We lose or forget or don't recognize the truth of that all experience is self-liberating, and that all of our experiences are going to change into something else, and that we will forget that these will be gone, these experiences of joy and despair, and that they will all be gone. Where are they now? This projection bias is what I was doing. I was sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to feel this way. I'm going to feel all awkward every time these conditions aren't met. I'm going to feel terrible. But recognizing that earlier I didn't feel this way and later I'm not going to feel this way. That's it. That is a truth. That is a guarantee. That is a guarantee of life. We are not constant. Our feelings are not constant. I went, oh yeah. Okay, so my wife is going to get home and I'm going to feel different. And then we're going to pack our stuff. We're going to get in the car and we'll feel different. And then I'll get to the door, and I'll see my parents in there and they'll wave to me, and I'll open the door and I'll feel different. And then I'll talk to them and I'll feel different. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I don't know if my cause and effect thing hemming me in is going to be true. I don't know that. Where are all those other feelings that I thought were going to continue forever and ever unless I, liberate myself from them somehow through hard work and effort and psychological insight? Where are they now? They're gone. Where is this feeling going to be? It's going to be gone. Oh, the weight lifted, feeling this. I allowed myself to feel differently. I allowed my feelings with attention to, with actually paying attention to them instead of trying to think my way out of them like they were constant and I had to think my way to change them. I just paid attention and I went, oh, there's anxiety in my belly. Oh, and then it's actually kind of not there anymore. But my eyebrows are tense. Okay. Oh, but then they're kind of relaxing. Okay. And then oh, I kind of feel that tingling in my toes when I'm anxious. Oh, okay. That's there now. And it was always transforming all the time. And I granted myself the permission to feel differently and to let my feelings self-liberate, which they naturally do. And it was so much more easeful than this alternative that I've described, of thinking, holding my happiness hostage. And so the experiment to you, if you have not, gleaned it already, is to let your feelings change and evolve as they do naturally, to let thoughts bubble up without feeling implicated by them like they're necessarily some kind of infinite truth of the universe. Oh, I had this thought. Oh, maybe it's because of this. Well, it probably is, blah, blah, blah. Being taken along with them, jumping straight on the train. The train goes past and we go, whoa, and then we're off in this thought train that we can't get off. No, it's okay. We can just let ourselves, oh, there's a thought. Oh, okay. Okay, here's another thought. Oh, okay. Maybe it's insightful. Maybe that's true. Maybe I do have a thing about authenticity with my parents and my brothers. Maybe that's true. But I don't have to be along for the ride. I can just let that pass away and let another one arise. And we can do this and just kind of sit with it, and let the change, the anicca, the impermanence of our sensations, show themselves to us, and let our experience liberate itself, and move on to the next thing. I will say with a small caveat that this is not always necessarily easy. It's much easier for me to seek control, to meditate, and then I'll jump on the Shakti mat, the acupressure mat, which, kind of biologically hacks my body and mind into calming down. Or, I'll go for a run, I'll run the energy out, or I'll do this, I'll distract myself with a book, or I'll jump on YouTube shorts and I'll distract myself that way, or I'll call a friend, but I won't tell him about my problems. I'll just try and make him laugh and that'll make me feel good. Or, running around from thing to thing, distracting ourselves and seeking control over our experience can be a lot easier than realizing that our experiences are actually out of our control. The source of our feelings is out of our control. We don't know where they come from. We don't know what they're for. They arise. Maybe we can make sense of them, but maybe we can't. And then they pass away again. That can actually be harder. It can be harder to go, oh, I'm uncomfortable, so just sit still and be present with it and actually feel the sensations of anxiety or despair or anger and watch those thoughts arise. Maybe it's hard to be with ugly thoughts. Maybe it's hard to be with insecure thoughts. This is true, but I think with a little bit of perseverance, I don't think it takes longer than a few minutes of mindfulness and of just watching thoughts and really feeling sensations and seeing their change for the emotions or the feelings or whatever to self-liberate, to change into a new thing, and to kind of exhaust themselves on us because we're not feeding them, so they kind of their energy dies out and passes away, and then something else comes up to take their place, or perhaps we just feel kind of empty and spacious, and we can just do the next most meaningful thing that we think to do. So yeah, it might not be exactly easy, but I do think it's a lot easier and a lot more sustainable and a lot more insightful even than holding our happiness hostage, holding our peace of mind hostage. Oh, I feel anxious. It must be because of the job interview. Therefore, until I get this job interview done or until I do the adequate preparation, I won't be able to feel not anxious anymore. That's what I have to do in order to feel peaceful. That I think is a much worse kind of state of affairs. It's a real prison. It's a real trap compared to the experiment that I'm proposing. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. I hope that's useful for you, and you enjoyed the video. Yeah, thanks very much for being here. It's great to be back and making these videos with you. If you like the content, there's a lot more, so feel free to explore it. Hopefully the titles are representational and you can click on something and it can kind of yeah, be interesting or useful to you. There's a whole bunch of videos up there, I think 54 now or 55. So that's a fair few. And also there's a Substack link where I write articles that are a bit longer, a bit more thorough and in-depth and a bit tighter. I write them and edit them down over a week or a fortnight and bolster them with lots of sort of quotes from literature and philosophy and spirituality and things, and yeah, polish them up, scrub them up. So if you like that kind of thing and you'd like to read this kind of thing, these kind of ideas in a different format, there's a link below. And if you'd like to listen or watch the content, there's a Spotify link if you'd like to listen and a YouTube link if you'd like to watch. But yeah, thanks very much. I hope you have a lovely day and enjoy yourself. And yeah, thanks for being here. I feel a lot of gratitude to my audience that that they can be here on this journey with me. That's a really nice thing. Thanks very much. Take it easy. See ya.